Write this in the comments below. I choose to let go and focus on what truly matters. Say it and mean it. Let this be your declaration as we dive into a transformative journey together. Welcome back to Stoic Venture, where we explore timeless wisdom to help you live a calm, resilient, and purposeful life. Today, we're talking about something most of us struggle with: caring too much about things that don't serve us, things we can't control, and the weight we carry from the opinions of others. Let me show you how Stoicism can help you master the art of not caring, and more importantly, how to let go of what's holding you back. Stick around because the lessons we'll uncover today can change your perspective forever. Chapter 1. The dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can change. The first principle, and perhaps the foundation of all Stoic wisdom, is the dichotomy of control. Epictetus famously said, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." Let's pause on that for a moment. Think of how much time we spend agonizing over things we can't change. The weather, other people's actions, or outcomes beyond our influence. Imagine how freeing it would be to focus only on the things you can control: your actions, your words, and your mindset. This shift is not just about reducing stress, it's about regaining your power. The reality is, worrying about things outside your control is like screaming at the wind. It's futile and exhausting. Instead, what if you channeled that energy into what you can affect? Let me give you an example. Suppose you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. Your first instinct might be to get frustrated, perhaps to blame other drivers or curse your luck. But let's apply the dichotomy of control here. Can you control the traffic? Number. But you can control how you respond to it. Maybe you use the time to practice deep breathing, listen to a podcast, or think through your meeting strategy. By focusing on your response rather than the situation, you transform stress into an opportunity for growth. The next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this something I control? If the answer is no, let it go. This practice is liberating and deeply empowering. It reminds us that while the world may be chaotic, our inner world is our own to govern. Chapter 2. Amor Fati. Love your fate, even when it's harsh. The second principle is Amor Fati, the love of fate. Marcus Aurelius taught us to embrace whatever life throws at us, even when it's difficult. It's not just about accepting challenges. It's about welcoming them as necessary parts of your journey. Imagine you're handed a script for your life. There are highs, of course, but there are also lows: loss, heartbreak, disappointment. Stoicism teaches us that these trials aren't distractions from the path. They are the path. This isn't easy to accept. When life feels unfair or painful, our instinct is to resist, to ask, "Why me?" But Amor Fati flips this script. It invites us to say, "Why not me?" There's a story of a man who loses his job unexpectedly. He could have spiraled into despair, but instead he chose to embrace the situation. He asked himself, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow?" In time, this loss led him to discover a new career path that brought him greater fulfillment than he ever imagined. This is the essence of Amor Fati, seeing every experience, even the painful ones, as a stepping stone toward a better version of yourself. When you adopt Amor Fati, you stop resisting reality. It's like trying to fight a river's current. You exhaust yourself for no reason. Instead, flow with the current. Find meaning even in difficulty, and you'll be stronger for it. Remember this: you are the sum of every challenge you've faced, and the hardships have shaped you into who you are today. Would you erase them or learn to love them for the strength they gave you? Chapter 3. The opinion of others. It's not your problem. Principle number 3 is a big one. Stop caring about what others think. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How much of your worry comes from imagining what others might think or say about you? As humans, we are social creatures, and it's natural to want to be liked or respected. But Stoicism reminds us that other people's opinions are not within our control. And here's the truth. Most people are too absorbed in their own lives to give you much thought. Even when they do judge you, their opinions are shaped by their own insecurities, biases, and limited understanding. Their judgment is a reflection of them, not you. Consider this example. Imagine you're at a social event, and you accidentally spill a drink. You might feel embarrassed and worry that everyone will think you're clumsy. But what's the reality? Most people will forget about it within minutes, if they even notice at all. And those who do judge you, what weight should their fleeting opinion carry in your life? Here's a practical exercise. The next time you're worried about being judged, ask yourself, will this matter in a year? Most of the time, the answer is no. Live your life authentically and let others hold on to their opinions. They're not yours to carry. When you free yourself from the need for approval, you gain the freedom to live on your own terms. Chapter 4. Memento Mori. Remember you will die. This might sound morbid, but it's one of the most liberating principles of Stoicism. Memento Mori is the practice of reflecting on your mortality, and far from being depressing, it's actually a call to live fully. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't about fear, it's about clarity. Why do we let petty worries consume us? Why do we hesitate to pursue what matters most? It's because we often live as though we have all the time in the world. But life is fleeting, and the Stoics believe that by keeping this truth in mind, we can better focus on what truly matters. Imagine you're looking back on your life from your deathbed. Will you wish you'd spent more time scrolling through social media, arguing over trivial matters, or worrying about the opinions of strangers? Or will you wish you had spent more time with loved ones, pursued your passions, and lived authentically? Here's a real-life example. Consider someone who holds on to a grudge for years, letting it fester and poison their relationships. But when faced with a terminal illness or the loss of a loved one, they often realize how insignificant that grudge really was. Why wait until it's too late to let go? Why not make peace now and focus on what brings joy and meaning to your life? Memento Mori is not about obsessing over death, but using it as a guide to live intentionally. Each day is a gift, and the Stoics teach us to treat it as such. When you start your day, remind yourself, this could be my last. Not in a fearful way, but in a way that motivates you to make the most of every moment. Let go of distractions and focus on what matters, because life is too short to waste on anything less. Chapter 5. Detachment. Letting go without losing passion. Detachment is often misunderstood. People think it means not caring about anything, but that's not true. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, is about letting go of attachment to outcomes, possessions, or relationships, while still engaging with them fully and passionately. Think of a sandcastle you build on the beach. You pour your creativity into it, shaping it with care. But you know the tide will eventually wash it away. Detachment allows you to enjoy the process of building the sandcastle without clinging to its permanence. You understand that impermanence is a natural part of life. This principle is powerful when applied to relationships, goals, and even material possessions. It doesn't mean you stop loving or striving. It means you stop letting your happiness depend on things staying exactly as they are. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation at work. You put in your best effort, but despite this, you know the outcome isn't fully in your control. Detachment allows you to focus on doing your best without being overly attached to whether it's a resounding success or a failure. Here's another example: relationships. You can deeply love someone while recognizing that they are not yours to control. They have their own path, and clinging to them only creates suffering for both of you. Detachment allows you to love freely without fear of loss. The key is realizing that you don't truly own anything, not people, not possessions, not even the moment you're in. Everything is borrowed, and detachment helps you appreciate it while it lasts. When you embrace detachment, you find peace in the impermanence of life. You realize that it's not about holding on, but about cherishing each moment as it comes and goes. Chapter 6. Negative Visualization, Preparing for the Worst. This principle isn't about pessimism, it's about preparation. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, which means visualizing worst-case scenarios. This practice helps us build resilience and reduce fear of the unknown. Why does this work? Because uncertainty is often more frightening than the reality of a situation. When you imagine a worst-case scenario, you strip it of its power to intimidate you. You see it for what it is, manageable, not catastrophic. Let's take an example. You're afraid of losing your job. Instead of avoiding the thought, practice negative visualization. Picture it happening. What would you do next? You might update your resume, network with colleagues, and look for new opportunities. By mentally rehearsing your response, you realize that even this worst-case scenario is something you can handle. This principle is like wearing a seatbelt. You don't expect to crash every time you drive, but you prepare for the possibility. Negative visualization isn't about dwelling on bad outcomes. It's about being ready for them so they don't catch you off guard. The beauty of this practice is that it also helps you appreciate what you have. When you imagine losing something, a job, a loved one, or even your health, you stop taking it for granted. You become more grateful for the present moment and the blessings in your life. So, the next time you're anxious about the future, don't avoid your fears. Face them head-on with negative visualization. You'll find that your anxiety diminishes, replaced by a calm confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Chapter 7. Focus on virtue. The only thing that matters. The final principle is to focus on virtue, your character, actions, and choices. At the end of the day, the only thing you control is who you are and how you show up in the world. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is the heart of Stoicism. Living in accordance with your values and striving to be the best version of yourself. Instead of obsessing over external outcomes, whether you succeed, whether people like you, whether you gain wealth, focus on your internal state. Are you acting with integrity? Are you treating others with kindness? Are you living courageously? These are the measures of a truly successful life. Virtue isn't about perfection, it's about effort. Every day you have the opportunity to choose wisdom over ignorance, patience over anger, and compassion over indifference. These small choices add up to a life well lived. When you focus on virtue, you let go of superficial concerns. Success and failure lose their grip on you because you know you've done your best. And here's the beautiful part. Virtue is something no one can take away from you. Circumstances can change, fortunes can fade, but your character is yours to shape and nurture. So as you navigate life's challenges, remember this. You don't have to control everything, win every battle, or please everyone. All you have to do is live virtuously. That is where true freedom and fulfillment lie. These 7 principles aren't just abstract ideas. They're tools you can use every day to live a calmer, more intentional life. Let go of what you can't control, embrace life's challenges, and focus on being the best version of yourself. Now it's your turn. Comment below, "I choose to let go and focus on what truly matters." Let's build a community of people who are ready to live with purpose and clarity. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Venture. Together, let's live with wisdom and resilience.